Hello everyone, welcome to Everything Arsenal. Our first signing is looking very imminent with the medical set, and that will quickly be followed by the second signing, and unfortunately the departures of players like Thomas Partey and Balogun. Surprisingly, especially for Thomas Partey, but I guess it's now starting to hit me that yes, he's not going to be an Arsenal player next season. So let's start with the latest news on Kai Havertz. What's the latest on him? Well, according to reports from early, quoting David Onstein as well, Kai Havertz to Arsenal is 90% done. As per David Onstein, the deal is in the final stages. It is my understanding that Kai Havertz will be at London Colney late today or early tomorrow to complete the medical. Also, Jurrien Timber is a lot more advanced than people realize. So let's start with the Havertz news. Medical set already. That will be that is very, very interesting. As early as today, it could happen as early as today or tomorrow. Looking like our first signing. I mean, yes, it's looking very like we've overpaid for him. I've never really felt like that about any Arsenal player, especially recently. We always players like Aubameyang, when he spent 60 million, I always felt like, wow, yes, he's a good striker. 60 million is good for him. For Nicolas Pepe, yes, he had had a couple of good seasons, one fantastic season for Lille, but 72 million was the first time he had spent that kind of money, so we were okay with it. But for Kai Havertz, the 65 million that you're being told seems a bit seems a lot, but it's looking very likely that he will be a fast signing. But is the 65 million a lot? So let's take a look at this. So according to the structure, according to Darren Arsenal will pay Chelsea 50 million in 3 installments for Kai Havertz, plus 15 million in add-ons in a total package worth 65 million. Now, yes, it can turn out to be the same thing. At the end of the day, you might still end up paying 65 million at the end of the day, whether it's after 1 year or after 2 years. But looking at that structure, that's not too bad. I don't know how much you're going to probably hear more details on it later on, but how much you're going to pay per installment, like the 3 installments. But 50 million in 3 installments, let's say if you're paying them 20, then 15, then another I don't know, 15 after that, or it's 30 first of all, and then 10 after that. We really don't know. But 3 installments does not really seem that bad. The one thing that has been bothering Arsenal with West Ham and Declan Rice deal is the add-ons. So I'd like to know what the add-ons are on the Kai Havertz deal, the 15 million. Is it in terms of appearances? Is it in terms of how many games he starts, how many games he plays for us in the Champions League, or how many goals he gets, or how many assists he gets? There's a lot that can be put there. We can say you're going to give you 5 million if he scores 10 goals and gets 6 assists this season or something like that, or across the next 2 years he gets 30 goal contributions or something like that, or he scores 5 goals in the Champions League or anything like that. So it could be anything: appearances, goals, assists, or anything to do with winning trophies. If he wins a trophy, we're going to give you a certain amount of money. But looking at that package, that is not a terrible package. I would understand it. So that is why when we were told 180 million and then we're looking at all these deals, it passes 200 million. This makes sense, like the breakdown in the installments and the add-ons for later on. Maybe in terms of guaranteed payments that you're going to make right now, we could end up making 75 or 80 for Rice, and then we could end up making like 30 million for Kai Havertz right now. Like, he might not pass that. The add-ons will be later on in 3 installments, but hopefully we get to hear the breakdown of that even more. But yes, if it hasn't hit you yet, it should by now. Kai Havertz will be an Arsenal player for next season, and he will be our first signing. According to Fabrizio Romano as well, on this deal, 65 million had to be 65 million will be. Havertz and Arsenal are getting closer. So a lot of different journalists are pointing out that this deal is basically done, 90% done, and the medical is already set. I think Chelsea now, having sold Mendy, having sold Kovacic, having sold who else? Koulibaly, having sold all those players, Ziyech as well. I think they've gotten a money here and there. I think they would be ready to let go of Havertz, even though we don't meet their 75 million fee that they wanted at the beginning. So let's hope we can even take it more down than that, less than 65 million. But it's looking like it's going to be a 65 million package, add-ons, and 3 installments in terms of the 50 million, which looking at it right now, it's not that bad. Like, if he comes next season and he hits the ground running and he gets 10 goals, 10 assists, we'll be looking at it like, wow, we only paid 30 million for Chelsea. Like, in the first installment, and we're already getting like 20 goal contributions from him. And then if you pay the add-ons after that, it means he has done well for you. If it's in terms of goals or assists or appearances and all that, yes, he will have done good for you if you end up paying those add-ons, which will have helped your team. So that's the latest on Kai Havertz. Let's wait and hear anything to do with the medical. I think this will be done very, very quickly, maybe before he goes on holiday, and that is looking very likely to be our first signing of the transfer window, Kai Havertz. A reminder of what we were told. Again, many people don't want it to happen, but as I said, people are like, yeah, let's take time on it because we don't want it to happen anyway. But the problem is, if they really want the player, they're going to keep on pushing for him. And I don't want us to waste time in terms of pushing for one player and then we waste 3-4 weeks pushing for Havertz and Rice, and then we get into July, we've not signed anyone. If they want him, let them sign him. Let's finish that topic. Let's get our first signing through the door, and then after that, you can start looking. Trying to get other deals done, because if you waste too much time on one deal, and right now we're on 2-3 deals, it's going to take too much time, and it's going to hurt us because other teams will come into the transfer market, the likes of Chelsea, Man United. So let's hope we can get it done quickly so that we can focus on others. In terms of where he'll fit at Arsenal, James Ollie said sources have told ESPN that during conversations, Arsenal have indicated that in addition to operating as a number 10 or number 8, they see Havertz capable of playing in any of the 3 attacking positions in an interchangeable forward line at the top of a 4-3-3 system. So I'm really interested to see how he fits in at Arsenal, because personally feel like he's better in a 4-2-3-1, and you don't really play that formation unless you're going to change to that in a couple of games, which I doubt. I think we're going to stick with the 4-3-3 and maybe in some games go to a back 3 or something like that. But if you're also going to adapt the Pep Guardiola system of having Stones pushing to midfield, which will be timber for us, pushing into midfield and then having 2 number 10s in Havertz and Odegaard, that is one role. But if you want someone to back up Saka, it could be Havertz. Will he really play on the left side, Havertz? Because you already have Martinelli, Smith Rowe, Trossard, all those guys who can play there. Nelson as well can play on both sides. Will he feature in the Xhaka role as well? It's going to be very interesting to see how he fits in. But 65 million, medical set for either today or tomorrow. Deal 90% done. I think Chelsea, they already know that Chelsea is going to accept that one or that package or whatever they've discussed it behind closed doors and everything. But let's see what happens with that one. Speaking of Timber, that I just mentioned him, what's the latest on him? So in the second part of that, Jurrien Timber is a lot more advanced than people realize. So that could that be our second signing? Yesterday I did a poll. If I can just check what the results were. Yesterday I did a poll and I asked which signing do you think will be the first one to be completed? Declan Rice, Kai Havertz, Jurrien Timber, or Lavia. For me, Lavia is at the bottom of the list. I don't think it's going to get completed very soon, immediately. And I think they're looking at it like it's not really a priority that much. Although we've been told that if they miss out on him, I think there's other players they can get. But maybe they're looking at the Rice and Havertz deal, and they're like, no, if you miss out on these players, we don't have anyone who can fit whatever they want to do next season. In the poll, 48% says Declan Rice is going to be the first signing. 39% said Havertz, and then 6% said Timber, 7% said Lavia. So people are expecting Rice to be the first one, Havertz to be the second one, Lavia third, Timber fourth. So it's looking likely that Havertz is going to be the first one, and Timber could be the second one, because according to reports, this deal is more advanced than we expected. Obviously, we offered them around 30 million a couple of nights ago, and it was rejected. But now it's looking like they're already doing business behind the scenes without just knowing. And the next thing we'll hear is Ajax has accepted a bid for him. Another story that came out yesterday is something to do with this release clause. That is, release clause will be active in the next 2 weeks. So teams could decide to wait for that and see how much that is. But I'm guessing that will be more expensive, unless it's something like 15 or 20 million, which I doubt they put such a release clause on one of their better players or better players coming from the academy and everything. And I doubt they would do that. So, and he's also been a captain for them as well. So I doubt they'll put that kind of a release clause on him, unless it's 60, 50 million. Then it makes sense to just bid for him right now and try and get the deal done and give the money to Ajax and complete that deal. But according to reports, this deal is more advanced than people know. People are expecting Rice to be fast, Havertz to come in as well, or Timber to take some time or anything like that. But it's looking like that one is already in the works behind the scenes, and maybe it's also 70-80% done. Yesterday there was talks about him traveling, those pictures that were leaked of him traveling in an airport, maybe on holiday or maybe coming to London. You never know. But Jurrien Timber could easily end up being our second signing. So it's very tough. Right now, I'd say Havertz will be a first signing, but second one, really tough to know. Declan Rice or Oh, Jurrien Timber. Can we hear about someone else from randomly, and we hear Arsenal have signed a goalkeeper or something like that? You never know. Like, these deals usually happen out of nowhere. Speaking of deals that happen out of nowhere, we never thought Thomas Partey would be going, but unfortunately, it's looking very, very likely. According to reports from David Ornstein, Arsenal plus Thomas Partey's camp both working on potential exit solutions if suitable opportunity arises for a sale. Interest from clubs in Saudi Arabia and Arsenal considering options would require replacement in addition to Declan Rice's pursuit. So, this is interesting. So the first one is about Thomas Partey leaving, and the second one is about the replacement. So if I was the coach and we were keeping Partey and we were keeping Xhaka, I still felt like we needed two midfielders because Partey had to play every single game until Jurrien came in January, and Xhaka pretty much had to play every single game because Smith Rowe can cover that position. Maybe he was out injured for most of the season. If you wanted two number 10s, Fabio Vieira, maybe he was out for almost half of the season as well and didn't really perform that much. So that was a problem. So he didn't have anyone to come in for Xhaka, and he pretty much didn't have anyone to come in for Partey last season. So I would still needed two midfielders. And if Xhaka left, maybe the two midfielders would still have been enough. But now, since we are selling both of them, Thomas Partey and Xhaka, does that mean we need four midfielders? Unless they have plans to bring in Lokonga, which I doubt. I think he'll either be sold or loaned out again. El Neni, I don't expect him to feature that much. So we basically only have Jorginho. Unless they are, we heard that they're training Smith Rowe to play in the Xhaka role, and Havertz is also going to feature in the Xhaka role. But Xhaka is different. You know what Xhaka gives you? I don't think Smith Rowe and Havertz can give you, like that energy, that defensive power in midfield, that no nonsense kind of tackles and everything. I don't think Havertz and Smith Rowe can do that for you. And also covering for left back when Tierney bombs forward or Zinchenko comes into the midfield. Xhaka did that very well. He basically helped us in terms of leadership and also attacking and defending. Last season, he added like 7 goals and 7 assists in his game. So that is someone who was really important in our team. So if we sell Xhaka and Partey, does that mean you're going to get Rice, Lavia, and another midfielder, maybe a Gundogan or someone like that? I would expect it. I would expect 3 midfielders then plus. So if both of them go, I would be expecting Havertz, Rice, Lavia, and someone else in midfield, as well as Timber, and maybe a 6th signing, a striker, because we're going to talk about the striker situation soon. But Partey leaving has come out as a surprise. Now, I'm also hearing that it might not be Arsenal, just Arsenal who want to sell him. It could be that he himself wants to leave because of all the drama. He wants to go somewhere peaceful. He's going to earn a big buck in Saudi Arabia. He's going to enjoy himself and basically cover his family for decades to come. Maybe that could be another reason. So if he's the one who wants to leave and he wants to get away from all of this, then that is fine. But still, this would be a huge loss for us because I was really happy that's keeping our first 11 and try getting backup players and maybe one extra start in the team. That was always my plan, but it's looking likely that he will leave. And also, according to David Ornstein, once again, if Arsenal sign Declan Rice, there's a good chance Thomas Partey won't be first choice in his position anymore. If Partey is to leave, a replacement would be needed in addition to the pursuit of Rice. So if Partey ended up staying, and we signed Declan Rice, maybe they've already told Partey that Declan Rice is coming and you're not going to be the first choice midfield in our team. You're going to be on the bench or you're going to rotate here and there. Maybe they've already told him that. Maybe that is the reason why he decided to leave. Maybe it's like, you know what, I'm not going to be first team anymore. I'm already first choice anymore. I'm already 30. There's some offers in Saudi Arabia. I want to get away from all this drama that has been happening in the last 1 year. Maybe that suits him best. So I would have loved to keep him for one more season at least and then sell him next time. I'll keep him for the 2 seasons and let him go on a free after 2 years. I wouldn't mind that. But hopefully by next, we've already sorted out our midfield completely. But I would have tried to keep him this season because we are basically losing 2 of our best midfielders from the last season, Xhaka and Partey. A midfield that was really strong, Xhaka, Partey, and Odegaard for 8 out of the 9 months of this season. So this will be a huge loss, but Thomas Partey, I think it is time to start saying goodbye. I think he definitely will be leaving. So we'll be getting midfielders, we'll be getting a defender in Timber, but will he be getting a striker? Because Balogun, again, from David Ornstein, all indications are that following Balogun will be sold this summer. He's out of contract in 2025. He does not intend to sign a new deal or go out on loan again. He wants to be first choice, ideally at Arsenal, but that is unlikely. If he is to go, he should generate a decent fee. So this is Balogun. Also, yesterday we heard that Arsenal are ready to take offers for Eddie Nketiah. So are we really going to let go of both and then not sign a striker? I don't think so. So could we have a transfer window where we sign up to 6 players? That would be crazy. Or are they planning to have Havertz featuring more at centre forward, or Trossard featuring more at centre forward, or what is their plan? That is another very interesting point. Now, for Balogun and Nketiah is different. If you're just to ask me right now, sell one of them. Don't take anything into consideration. Sell one of them. I'd probably get rid of Nketiah because I think Balogun is young and he also has I don't know how much younger he is. I actually don't know their age gap, but I would love to keep Balogun because we've seen him performing incredibly well in France and scoring more than 20 goals in a season. I'd love to keep him, and also because he's young, and also because we've seen almost enough from Nketiah, I'd say. There's that. But then if it's in terms of money, I'm pretty sure Balogun will bring in more money than Nketiah. So if it is Arsenal looking for money, then Balogun will be the better player to sell because you're going to get more money for him. How much can you really get from Nketiah? So this is a difficult one. Or could they end up selling both of them? Because if you sell Balogun for 40 plus add-ons and then you sell Nketiah for like 30 plus add-ons, all of a sudden you've brought in 70 million and another 20 million in the later years. So this is a tough one. This is another tough one. But Balogun is looking likely that he'll leave. But unless Nketiah leaves and then they decide to keep Balogun, because Balogun wants first team football. But if Nketiah is not there, we can promise Balogun to be playing the Carabao Cup games and coming on in the Premier League games as well. Maybe not in the Champions League games, but all this will be very interesting to keep an eye on. Thomas Partey, Balogun, Havertz, and Timber, especially this week. And also the Declan Rice one, let's not forget about that. And that is one that most of us want to get done. But it's going to be a busy window in terms of outgoings and incomings. I never thought we were going to sell so many players or get rid of so many players. But it's looking likely that we get rid of 10 players or something. Niles has left. Partey could be leaving. Balogun could be leaving. Nketiah could be leaving. We don't know about the situation on players like Rob Holding. Players like Pepe could be leaving, or he will definitely leave. A player like Ranasson will be sold as well. Players like Lokonga, we don't know the situation. El Neni, Cedric. So we are going to get rid of more than 10 players. Jacques on top of that, Pablo Mari. It could be actually 15 players leaving and something like 6 players coming in. So let's see what happens with that. That's the first piece of news from today. I'm expecting to hear more about Arsenal transfers later on in the day. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch up with you on the next one.